My name's Hey guys. Hello, my name is Raven. I am an alcoholic. I am an addict. I am also a pagan witch. Only two of those things I'm in recovery for. I must admit, yes, I have pushed Kevin and other newcomers into service. And it was about his 15 days when I started telling him at 30 days, you can do service and you can do it and you can do it. And I've pushed and pushed and pushed gently and lovingly because I do truly care about the people in this room. This room is sacred to me. This room has become my church and my safe place, which feels a little awkward to say in a secular meeting. But secular, which I did not know existed, simply means no God or no religion. We're going to keep it out of our recovery space. In this group, they've taken it even a step far and put that slide up that I saw on my day 3, the slide. I know I have it memorized, but we do not endorse or oppose any form of religion or atheism. Another member does not have to agree with your conception of God. They can choose any conception they like or none at all, provided it makes sense to them. See, I do have it memorized. That slide, I believe, changed my life. I have done speaker meetings before. I've done a few. I have been here for now 3 years and 2 months and 21 days because I found this day on my day 3. So I have that number that I just said plus 3 is when I got sober. Um, I have told my story before. I have told a lot of my traumas, which there are quite a few. I've told a lot about my drinking and using days, which there were absolutely a lot. But I'd rather kind of just talk about my recovery or my journey to find recovery um, and how that has worked a little bit with my spirituality. Because, like I said, I don't know if you missed it, I am pagan and I also identify as a witch. And it's okay if you roll your eyes at that. It doesn't bother me at all because my spirituality does not need me to defend it. It is strong enough. Doesn't need little tiny human me to fight its battles. But it's been hard to find a place where I fit, or at least I thought it would be hard to find a place where I fit in the world of recovery. This is not my first time being in a 12-step room, although the last time I was in any 12-step rooms, it was in 1993. And I was 17 years old, and it was an NA group. So imagine tiny little 17-year-old me, little goth girl, little baby witch, all in black hair, way too much eyeliner, um, in a room full of grown-ass adults who had been using for longer than I had been alive. And here's me with coming in with officially a cocaine problem. That was before I found meth. So there's that. Um, I had gotten into the rooms because I'd gotten into some trouble and had to go to my mom and had to tell my mom, I am an addict and I can't stop. And I had been trying on my own to keep it secret and keep it hidden. And I got to the point where I couldn't do that. And I told my mom I needed help, which in and of itself was a holy shit, big deal. And my mom could not afford rehab because I'm lower middle class. And my mom was a single mom. What we did find was a high school program. It was the REACH program. And it was where they sent all the kids that were kicked out of school for drug offenses. And I was there voluntarily. And part of their program was that I had to go to 2 AA or NA meetings a week and get the little signed documents, you know. So I don't hold no judgments whatsoever to the people who are asking for meeting verification, because many, many years ago, I needed it too, for a different reason. Um, as being a kid, uh, gosh, of course, I didn't think I was a kid at the time, of course, right? But being a kid in those rooms, I think a lot of people wanted to, you know, mother me or smother me or take care of me or tell me all the things that I needed to do, you know, to do it. I think that, you know, I probably felt a lot like I feel when I see young people come in and I'm like, yes, do it now while you're young, you know, don't wait as long as I did, right? To get clean and sober. Um, but holy shit, was there an absolute push and an absolute necessity for a higher power. Um, and it was hard because I was broken and I was scared and I was tiny, with a tiny voice and filled with shame and teenage angst. I did not feel comfortable at all saying, I don't believe in your God. I actually believe in a God and a goddess and they're equal. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that, because then I was wrong. I discovered that it was so much easier to tell them that I'm atheist or agnostic. They accepted that so easily because they were like, that's okay. You can get anything else to be your higher power until you pick our God. It was a placeholder. They were like, that's okay. We can fix anything else and we can change anything that you call a higher power, you know, into our God eventually. But if I come at them with a no, I have a whole nother faith, that's not going to work. I did those NA meetings for the rest of that semester and I stayed clean and sober that semester. And lo and behold, I actually had a really wonderful relationship with my mom during that time. Holy shit, imagine that. Uh, but then summer came around and went back to my ways and drank and used drugs inappropriately for many years. Sometimes not so much, and then sometimes a lot, depending on what trauma I was trying to mask or what mental health issues were coming up to the surface. I was very much the queen of self-medicating. I said my drug of choice at that time was cocaine, but really it was anything that would help me feel something different than what I felt. That was my drug of choice, especially when I was in my teenage years. And then in early adulthood, I found meth. And my rationale was I went through rehab for cocaine, not meth. This is half the price and lasts 3 times as long. Fuck yeah, sign me up. Um, Fun fact, do not marry your meth dealer. I 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Does not turn out well. Um, so let's fast forward through a lot of the trauma and a lot of the shit. And I went through 2 more husbands that were um, not good people. And I coped with that by drinking. I coped with that by drinking. I coped with that by cheating. I coped with that by cutting. I was a cutter for many years. Um, I coped with that in many ways. Um, I said I wasn't going to talk about the whole story, but I went to school and got a job that I absolutely loved and wanted to further my career and broke my back, and could not do that anymore. And then I have no job, no future. Now I have chronic pain. Uh, let's throw some alcohol on it for a few years. And then the pandemic hits and it's just like, well, there's nothing stopping me now. Hello. So I got to the point many, many years, quite a few years later where I had lost my self-worth. I had lost my connection to others. I lost my connection to my husband. I lost my connection to my deity. That hit hard, which may not really resonate with a lot of people here. Um, but the way that my spirituality works is I truly believe in all of the gods out there. I think they all have power, and I choose to work with the ones that I want to. And I lost a relationship with one, and it hurt, and I was lost. I truly believe that that deity was just like, you keep promising me you're going to stop, and then you don't. I broke so many promises to to my God, to my goddess, actually, and I was lost. That's just one of the reasons why I was lost. And I lost that connection to a deity, and then I found another one. I found the God as in the gift of desperation. And that truly was a gift, that sense of nothing left to lose, desperation. But I still don't have insurance and I still don't have money for rehab. So what the fuck am I going to do? Well, I get on Google because that's what we do in this day and age. Google it. You need something, Google it. You want to know something, Google it. Uh, well, so I did. I said, help with drinking, help with alcoholism. And the only things that popped up were AA, 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 AA. 110 different ways to get in touch with AA. I did not find Life Ring. I did not find um, whatever the one is, This Naked Mind. I know a lot of you know who I'm talking about. I can't even remember the lady's name, but she's pretty popular and her shit works too. But I didn't find that. I found the app Everything AA. And I went and realizing that I could go to meetings online was just amazing because I don't even have to put on a bra. I don't even have to put on clean sweatpants. These sweatpants I've been wearing for way too long. I did put on a clean tank top for you guys, so you're welcome um, for that. I found newcomer meetings. What I especially in those first 3 days, it was overwhelming. You know how many AA meetings are out there? There's a fuck ton. Oh my God. It was so overwhelming. Um, but the only ones I could think of doing were the newcomers because at least then could be in a place where I didn't have, I hopefully, I don't know, fingers crossed, didn't have as much shame for having for having less than one day. And the newcomers meetings, I don't know if you guys have ever been to them, even the traditional ones, because at this time I still had no idea that secular was existed. I would in a few days though. I tried those secular meetings. If you've got 2 days, they throw a fucking party, man. They are like, they got the little apps with the little hats and chicks over there with pom poms. They are celebrating every moment. And I've tried to carry that with me. I didn't think that I didn't do that intentionally, I guess. That's become an accident. But man, when somebody comes in and they share that they have 3 days, it excites the shit out of me. I have so much hope. I don't have a lot of hope in my world, especially right now in this day and age. I don't have a lot of hope. But when I see somebody come in with 2 or 3 days, I feel hopeful. It's amazing. Um, when I was starting to try to go, okay, I've got a day or two under my belt. There's search bars where you can search like women's meeting, you can search LGBTQ meetings, you can put all these different tabs in. And um, one of them was secular. Of course, I put in there no God, atheist. I put in pagan. There wasn't any, by the way. Um, and I found secular. I found this meeting, and it's at a perfect time for me. Usually after Ian would go to bed, and I could be down here in my little shame hut, which is now no longer my little tiny shame hut. So that's really amazing. Um, and I came in on day 3 and they read that slide because I didn't know. I was like, this group is all atheists and this group is all agnostic. they're they're gonna make fun of me. They're gonna not welcome me. They're gonna, you know, think I'm stupid, or or judge me, or just flat out say I don't belong. Because of course everything was so scary in those first 2 days. Everything was scary. I saw that slide, maybe. And then I heard somebody with raise their hand to share with only 2 days sober, and I was so judgmental. I was so like, "Bitch, you got 2 days. Nobody wants to hear. I need to hear from the older people that are like, tell me how to do it. Somebody who has 2 days sober isn't telling me how to do it. I need to know how. Like, I know how to get 2 days. I got it yesterday. Oh, we can remove them. I love how they use my image. I am popular tonight. There we go. Um, Damn it, they made me lose my train of thought, but that's okay. I I have so judged that girl that I had 2 days sober. Um, now I look back at that and I was like, what a dipshit I was. Because now all I want to hear is the person with 2 days. All I want to hear is I want to be reminded also of of where how far I've come in that struggle. And I want to applaud them. I just want to say, I'm glad you're here. When I say it's okay that you're here. Um, Not gonna lie, still, in the first year or so, I never really talked about my spirituality. I still really don't a lot, because it doesn't need to be a part of this part of my sobriety. It is definitely a part of my sobriety, but it doesn't need to be a part of this part. And guess what? I know that if it does need to be, if it is something that I need to talk about, you guys are gonna listen. And it's amazing. And I know that, a few of you, like Dave's going to roll his eyes way into the back of his head, but I know he's still going to love me. So that's okay. I'll take that. I feel safe here. This is my sacred space. This has become my church. Um, as a as somebody who practices witchcraft, who calls themselves a witch, and who used to work in a metaphysical shop. I've had many people come and say, well, "Do you have a spell for sobriety? Do you have a spell that can make my friend stop drinking?" And I thought to myself too, can I create a spell that would help me stop drinking? And then I realized that I absolutely could do that. The problem is that's dangerous if somebody is not ready to, because we know that when we strip away the alcohol, what's left, we have to get down to the causes and conditions. Because that is what really drives us, is those causes and conditions. That alcohol, at least for me, is a symptom of all of these causes and conditions. And if I take away the one symptom or the one medication, the one, what is that? I can't even think of the word right now. Coping mechanism. What's left? Well, I did find out early in my first, I'd say 6 months, all the other unhealthy coping mechanisms want to come out and play. They're like, pick me, choose me next. Um, so we have to get down to those causes and conditions, and that's what I've been working on for a long time. That's not to say that I don't have many spells that I use to help me in my sobriety. And I'll tell you one of them I can share with you guys, and just like kind of imagine that you've got a big old magical cauldron sitting in front of you, and you've got to add in community. You got to take a pinch of patience. You got to take a whole handful of forgiveness to help out with that shame. There's so many ingredients that have to be added into that cauldron that are not just bubbly soda water to fill up the void of drinking. Um, if I leave that cauldron to sit for too long, it will stale and it will go bad. I have to keep putting in the fire, putting in those ingredients, or what happens, that spell dies and I get complacent. And some of you might know how dangerous it is to get complacent. I've spent the last 3 years and 2 months and 24 days working on stirring that cauldron. Sometimes I forget to stir it. Sometimes I forget to add that ingredient to reach out to people. Sometimes the self isolation starts to creep in and it wants to form because I haven't paid attention to that cauldron enough lately. And so I have to go and pay attention to it. This room helps me pay attention to my cauldron. Every one of the boxes that are on the screen right now are ingredients in the spell that helps keeping me sober. This place is magical. These rooms are magical. The friends that I have made and the connections I have made in this room constantly surprise me. It surprises me how it still surprises me, but it does surprise me how important they are to my sobriety. That's one of the reasons why I take a newcomer and I grab onto them and I'm like, "You're in my cauldron now, god damn it." It makes me sad and it breaks my heart sometimes when they have to leave my cauldron for whatever reason it is. Oh, I'm getting a little teary. That's okay. Um, I think that's about what I've got to say for you guys. Again, this is my church. This is my sacred space. It's not always perfect. I love every one of you guys. Doesn't mean I like every one of you guys every moment of the day, but I do know that I still love you all. And I do know that you are still integral members of my sobriety. And for that, you guys, I thank you so, so much. And I'm done.